with or by a minor is an agreement with a an agreement with or by a minor is okay minor से agreement void हो गया on attaining the age maturity a minor से agreement cannot be an attaining the age of maturity a minor age agreements cannot be rectified by him can be rectified by him becomes a valid attaining the age of maturity of minors agreement cannot be rectified by him. A minor enters into a contract for the purchase of certain necessary in such a case. A minor enters into a contract for the purchase of certain necessary in such case. He is liable to return of the money. He can be sued for fraud. He cannot be sued for fraud. Okay, he is liable to return the money. Okay. Contract made before war with an aligned enemy which are against public policy. Contracts made before war with an aligned enemy which are against public policy are suspend and are received after the war is over. Okay, not friends. आप लोग फ्रेंड्स कमेंट कर सकते हैं जिसको भी अगर इसी का आंसर पता है तो मेरे ट्रिक करने से पहले आप लोग भी आंसर को दे सकते हैं तो इसलिए हम लोग साथ साथ में प्रैक्टिस कर लेंगे when a person positively asserts that a fact is true when his information does not want it to be when a person positively a misrepresentation, a promise made without the intention of performing it amount to a promise made without the intention of performing. Promise made without the intention of performing it amount to be a promise made without the intention of performing it amounts to okay. So ये totally fraud है इसको तो ऐसे मार्क कर दो. A bailee has a right of both particular and general lien. No lien at all over the goods billed. A right of particular lien over the goods billed. A right to generation. A right of particular lien over the goods billed. The position of the position of a finder of lost. The position of a finder of lost goods is that of a. The position of the finder of lost goods is that of the. कौन होता है प्रिंसिपल डेटर तो नहीं रहेगा बेली बेलर रहेगा आई थिंक हाँ ये कंफ्यूजन आता है इसमें मेरे को हमेशा बेली बेली the position of finder of lost goods is that of bailey. A bailey falls to return the goods. A bailey falls to return the goods according to the bailers. according to the Wheeler's direction. According to the Wheeler's direction, he takes he takes reasonable care of the goods, but still the goods are lost. The loss will fall on. Okay. Bailey failed to return the goods according to the Wheeler direction. ओके, तो इसके लिए द बेली जिम्मेदार होगा ना, जिम्मेदारी नहीं निभाया अपना। ए हु परचेज सर्टेन गुड्स फ्रॉम बी, ओके, बाय ए मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन, ओके, मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन, प्लेस देन विथ सी, तो उसके साथ ही सी से प्लेस कर दिया। द प्लेस इज वाइड होना चाहिए, नो इनवायलेट है पावा, ये भी सब गलत हो गया, वायलेट माना जाएगा। ओके, मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन प्लेस्ड विथ सी, ठीक है। ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ इंडेमनिटी इज इंडेमनिटी void, indemnifier, indemnity, okay, contingent contract, okay, quasi contract, varying contract, void contract, contingent contract होगा क्या, and okay, contract of indemnity is contingent contract, वाह वाह क्या बात है, सही होगा। The definition of a contract of indemnity, the definition of a contract of indemnity as given in the Indian Contract Act 1872. The definition of a contract of indemnity as given in the Indian Contract Act: a cause where the loss is caused by the conduct of the promisor himself or by the conduct of any of the person. Cases where loss arise from the accident event not depending on the conduct of the promisor. No express promise to implied promise to, ओके, ये होना इम्प्लाइड प्रॉमिस, एक्सप्रेस प्रॉमिस्ड होना चाहिए। वेयर देयर ए जीरो को श्योरिटीज, ओके, रिलीज बाय द क्रेडिटर ऑफ वन ऑफ देम, वेयर देयर आर को श्योरिटी, वेयर देयर आर को श्योरिटी। फ्रेंड्स एक बार चेक करेंगे मेरा चल रहा है वीडियो लाइव की भाई नहीं चल रहा है, फिर आगे करेंगे। ये कैसा ही है, ठीक है। Where there are co-sureties, a release by the creditor of one of them. Okay, discharge co-surety, release by the creditor. Does not discharge the other co-surety, make all the co-surety immediately liable, and make the contract of guarantee void. Option C may be correct होगा। No, does not discharge the contract, other co-surety discharge the contract, नहीं ये भी बनाया अभी, ठीक है फ्रेंड्स। does not discharge the other co-sureties, okay. A guarantee obtained by the creditor by keeping silence as to material circumstances. A guarantee obtained, okay, by a creditor by keeping silence as to material silence. इनफोर्सिबल नहीं है, इनवायलेट नहीं है, वायलेट हुआ। A quasi-contract. A quasi-contract creates only a legal obligation. None of these in an agreement is in a contract. Quasi-contract is a create only a legal obligation है, ये सही है। A minor has been supplied necessaries on credit. A minor has been supplied necessaries on credit. He is not personally liable. Okay, he is not liable. His estate is liable. His estate is liable. His estate is liable हो सकता है क्या? Right. A finder of lost goods is a, अभी हमारे पास आया था ये, तो आई थिंक इसका आंसर था बेली ना, बेली। A agreed to sell 100 share of to B, okay? एक केस है, A एग्री कर रहा है to sell 100 शेयर, किससे बेच रहा है? B at rupees 75 per share, okay? Delivery to be given on 1st March, okay? मार्च को डिलीवरी, B refused to accept delivery on 1st March, okay? B ने मना कर दिया डिलीवरी लेने से, okay? Price had gone down to rupees 60 per share, okay? प्राइस घट गया 15 रुपया। Subsequently, A sold this share at 92 रुपए per share, ओके वाह, ये ने 92 रुपए में बेच लिया। तो अभी ये क्लेम तो मांग सकता है, लेकिन वो प्रॉमिस फेल किया था, उसका मैटर अलग है। ए विल हैव टू रीस्टोर टू बी 1700 रुपए प्रॉफिट ही मेड, ओके। बी तो मना कर दिया था ना लेने से, तो बी का तो मतलब नहीं पड़ता ना प्रॉफिट को। ए विल हैव टू रीस्टोर टू बी रुपीज 1700 द प्रॉफिट इज मेड। You cannot recover any damage from B. Okay. A can recover damage to A can recover damage to be determined by the president of the stock exchange. नहीं जी, none of the above होगा क्या? A can recover damage to be determined. स्टॉक एक्सचेंज चेकिंग करेगा। A will have to restore B. A cannot recover any damage from B. ये भी नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है। He can recover damage to be determined by the president of a stock exchange। क्या लॉजिक है जी, इसका कुछ समझ नहीं आया मेरे को। Anticipatory breach of contract take place। Anticipatory breach of a contract take place at the time of when contract is entered। Anticipatory breach during the performance of at the time of performance is due before the performance। Anticipatory breach of contract, okay। Contract में breach हो गया at the time of contract is entered into not during the performance of the contract, maybe at the time of when performance is due, at before the performance, समझ गए फ्रेंड्स, कितना बुरा हाल है मेरा। बिफोर द परफॉर्मेंस इज ड्यू, एंटिसिपेटरी बीच में याद रखना, बिफोर द परफॉर्मेंस इज ड्यू, बिफोर द परफॉर्मेंस इज ड्यू। Specifies performance by order by the public when specifies performance may be record order, specifies performance may be ordered by the court, damage are not an adequate remedy, the court is uncertain, the contract is avoidable, damage are not an adequate remedy, contract is uncertain, the contract is avoidable, damage are not an adequate remedy. He undertakes to point a picture of B. He undertakes to point a picture of B. He dies before he paints the picture. The contract. He undertakes to paint a picture of B. He dies before the paint. The contract is discharged by death. Contract is discharged by death. होगा होगा। A lender rupees 500, okay. A lends rupees 500 to B. He later tell B that he need not repay the amount. The contract is discharged by A. Lends rupees 500 to B. He later tells B that he need not repay the amount. The contract is discharged by. The contract is discharged by. Later tell me that need not to repay amount. Innovation performance. Later we need to be not waiver होगा, waiver If a new contract is substitute in place of existing contract, it is called recession, alteration, novation, waiver. Waiver तो नहीं हुआ, recession भी नहीं, alteration, amended, ओके, तो अल्टरेशन बोल सकते हैं इसको, amendment. An agreement to be impossible act. An agreement to do. An agreement to do impossible act. Impossible act नहीं कर सकते. It's void. No, it's illegal. हाँ, ये भी नहीं है. In voidable. अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है. A agreement is immoral. None of those opposed to public policy. Forbidden by law. Forbidden by law. A person enter into an agreement where a person enter into an agreement whereby he is bound to do something which is against his public or professional duty. A person enter into an agreement whereby he is bound to do something which is against public or professional duty. The agreement is always voidable ऐसे केस वाले में, which is not an example of promissory note. Okay, a promise to pay B or order rupees 500. Mr. B I O rupees not. I promise to pay B order. I acknowledge myself to be independent B to B rupees to be paid on demand for value received. तो ये लग रहा जी नहीं हो रहा, तो ये नहीं होगा, नॉन ऑफ दी एबव होगा. इन प्रोमिसरी नोट हाउ मेनी पार्टीज आर इन्वॉल्व. प्रोमिसरी नोट में तीन लोग होंगे. प्रोमिसरी नोट में राइट, ये दो ही रहेंगे. प्रोमिसरी नोट में एक तो रहेगा प्रॉमिस करने वाला, एक रहेगा जो देगा, प्रॉमिस प्रॉमिस है ना, एक होगा श्योरिटी या गारंटर. तीन ही जने होना चाहिए कायदे से, तो नहीं है, है? कितने जन है जी, एक ही बंदा है क्या? क्या कंफ्यूजन रहता है, इनका आंसर गलत है कि मैं गलत हूँ? which is not which is not correct about the promissory note. It is signed by the maker. It contains a conditional undertaking. It is instructed in writing. It contains the amount mentioned on it. It is signed by maker. No? Yes. It contains it contains the amount mentioned on it. The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 extend to whole of India. The whole of India. The Negotiable Instrument Act makes a specified mention of three instruments, namely check, bill of exchange, and क्या होता है promissory note. Okay, a person become a holder is due course of a negotiable instrument if he receives it. A person becomes a holder in due course, okay, of a negotiable instrument if he receive it by satisfying all these before maturity for value in good faith. Satisfying all these by in good faith. ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तो आप लोग देख सकते हैं मेरा थोड़ा बहुत तो कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा ना इसको करने से, लग रहा है ना थोड़ा. कुछ तो एमसीक्यू में हेल्प मिलेगा, 5 भी सही हो गया, 10 भी हो गया, कितनी खुशी होगी आपको, हमको. इसलिए तो प्रैक्टिस करना जरूरी है. प्रैक्टिस से ही परफेक्शन आएगा, और प्रैक्टिस से ही जो भी प्रोफेशनल डिग्री है ना, एलएलबी हो गया, सीए हो गया, सीएमए हो गया, सीएस हो गया, फ्रेंड्स सब में मैं एक ही बात समझ रहा हूँ कि सब में प्रैक्टिस चाहिए और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. कौन इंटेलिजेंट है, ब्रिलियंट है, क्या तोड़ के आया, क्या मचा के आया, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, प्रैक्टिस चाहिए बस और बस। और यही नहीं, कोई भी एग्जाम हो, प्रैक्टिस बहुत जरूरी है। आप अगर 6 मंथ पढ़ लिए ना, अगर प्रैक्टिस नहीं करे एग्जाम से पहले, वो सारा पढ़ाई 5 महीने का बेकार चला गया, अगर लास्ट मंथ में उसका रिवीजन नहीं करे तो। ये है ना, तो ये चीज बहुत जरूरी है। बीच बीच में फ्रेंड्स बातचीत करना भी जरूरी है। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तो चलिए आगे बढ़ेंगे, फिर बात करेंगे थोड़ी देर। A negotiable instrument payable to order can be transferred by a negotiable instrument payable to order can be transferred by, okay? कौन ट्रांसफर? सिंपल डिलीवरी, इंडोर्समेंट, इंडोर्समेंट एंड डिलीवरी, रजिस्टर्ड पोस्ट। रजिस्टर्ड पोस्ट। In case back of a negotiable instrument is full, okay. In case back of a negotiable instrument is full of endorsement, a slip of paper may be attached to the instrument for signing endorsement. Such a slip is legally known as। ओ भाई ये क्या आ गया? ये तो एस्क्रो बोलते हैं शायद उसको, एस्क्रो मेरे को याद आ रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा। है नहीं, पे क्या बोलेंगे? अलोंग, अलोंग नहीं, पेच। अरे बाबा क्या है, बड़ा लॉजिक वाला आ गया ये। पेच। आफ्टर रिसीविंग an uncrossed check, its holder can make on it for receiving uncrossed special crossing a special with the general crossing, स्पेशल क्रॉसिंग क्या है? जनरल क्रॉसिंग होगा ना, स्पेशल क्रॉसिंग। The payment of a check containing a special crossing can be obtained by the payee only by the depositing account by the customer, both both D both A and C at the counter C में A counter B में by depositing in account by the pay only, okay, by depositing in account। A negotiable instrument made without any consideration at all is a negotiable instrument made without any consideration, okay, okay, without any consideration। negotiable instruments तो करना थोड़ा गलत है, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते। voidable between immediate party नहीं, okay, void between immediate party। In instrument is instrument can complete some project skill in will का क्या ड्रॉ नहीं में, ओके। ये आया था क्वेश्चन, याद आया मेरे को एग्जाम में, फिर से गलत मार रहा हूँ मैं। एन एम बी जी इंस्ट्रूमेंट, पिछले वाले में शायद आया था, इसी में आया था। A negotiable instrument is said to be discharged when the liability of which of the following party come to an end. A negotiable instrument is said to be discharged when the liability secondarily liability party, none of the parties, subsequent level party, primarily level party। प्राइमरी जो इसका लाइबिलिटी था खत्म हो गया। The undertaking contained in a promissory note to pay a certain sum of money is unconditional, may be conditional or unconditional depending upon the circumstances। नहीं, हर कंडीशनल होगा, ऑलवेज कंडीशनल। Which of the following negotiable instruments is not entitled to grace? A bill of exchange payable on a specific date, and promissory note payable after sight, a promissory note payable on a specific date, a check is always payable on demand। B में भी no, a bill of exchange payable on a specific date। After the dishonour of a bill, after the dishonour of a negotiable instrument, the holder may get the fact of dishonour authenticated by a notary public। The noting may be done in case of बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज, प्रॉमिसरी नोट, बोथ बोथ में होगा नहीं, बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज में होगा। ओके। A check is set to certain a special crossing when two parallel line is drawn across the pay face of the check and writing between the line the account paying only. nahi, name of some is okay. Name of some bank. Okay. A promissory note must be क्या होना चाहिए? All of them are in writing, in unconditional, nahi, in writing nahi, is in signed by maker, unconditional, all of the above. मैंने पहले बोला था लेकिन तुक्का मारने का काम खराब होता है। A bill is discharged when its acceptor by negotiation back becomes its holder. A bill discharged when its acceptor by negotiation. A bill is discharged when either A or B, after maturity, before maturity. The presentment foresight is required only in case of a promissory note. Which of the following not the presentment of सॉरी फ्रेंड्स, थोड़ा मेरे को नींद जैसा लग रहा है लेकिन पढ़ाई जरूरी है ना, तो इसलिए गलत सलत पढ़ रहा हूँ। माइंड नहीं करना है फ्रेंड्स, तो आप ही लोग माइंड करेंगे तो हमारा क्या होगा। अभी तो हम प्रैक्टिस में भी आ रहे हैं धीरे धीरे। The presentment of site is required only in case of a promissory note. Which of the following note must be presented for site? Okay, okay. All of the above. A note payable at site, a note payable after site, a note payable on demand, तीनों कंडीशन में हो सकता है। दैट मीन्स ऑल ऑफ द अबव। ओके, इसका देखेंगे। बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज पेबल टू बियरर ऑन डिमांड इज bill of exchange payable to bearer on demand is none of these invalid, voidable, none of these. The term customer in relation to a banker means a person who keeps with a banker. The terms customer in relation to banker means a person who keeps with a banker. Either account irrespective of duration, both account for 6 months, deposit account for 6 months, current account for 6 months, इधर है क्या? पहले वाला नहीं है, बोथ अकाउंट ये भी नहीं है, करंट ये भी नहीं। वाह रे वाह, क्या ये तो सर के पारी हो गया। क्या है? डिपॉजिट अकाउंट फॉर 6 मंथ्स। ओके, डिपॉजिट अकाउंट फॉर 6 मंथ है तो द टर्म कस्टमर इन रिलेशन टू बैंकर मीन्स ए पर्सन हु कीप्स विथ बैंकर। ओके फ्रेंड्स, और आता है कुछ कुछ ऐसा आता है लाइन जो हमारे दिमाग को हिलाता है, तो इसलिए माइंड नहीं करना है। कोशिश करेंगे अगली बार से और अच्छा है वो। ठीक है। द पेमेंट ऑफ ए नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट बिकम ड्यू ऑन थर्ड डे ऑफ मैच्योरिटी। ये क्या है? तो सिंपल था। इन केस द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज नॉट स्पेसिफाई इन द इंस्ट्रूमेंट, द इंटरेस्ट पेबल इज कैलकुलेटेड एट पर एनम रेट इज 18%, to 9%, 12%। आई थिंक फ्रेंड्स जो इस पे रेट लगता है 6% के हिसाब से लगता है मेरे को, जहां तक पता है। नहीं तो 12 भी नहीं है तो 18 है क्या? 18%। ओके वाह, 18%। ओके, where no provision is made by contract, okay, where no provision is made by contract between the party for the duration of their partnership, for the determination of their partnership, and the partnership is called where no provision is made by contract, no provision is made by contract between the partners Okay, for the duration of their partnership, or for the determination of their partnership. Okay, none of them are partnership for a fixed term, partnership at will, partnership at will. What information shall we give to the registrar of firms? Maybe a registered partnership firm. What information shall we give the registrar? Okay. Name, new opening count. Okay. Closing is a branch. Change in the name of the address. Partner. Change in the constitution of the firm. What there is change in the name of the firm, location of the principal business palace, all of the above. Who can inspect the registrar and field documents at the office of the registrar? Who can inspect the registrar and field documents? Okay, officer of the partner of the firm. Who can inspect the registrar field document? Any government servant, the partner of the firms, any person. What are the right of partner after dissolution? Dissolution के बाद partner क्या क्या right होते हैं? To have surplus distribution among the partner of their representative according to their rights, to have business wind up after dissolution, to have property of the firm applied in payment of the debt and liability of the firm, all of the above. Okay. 76 where any member, बहुत लंबा क्वेश्चन है ये, where any member of a firm has died or otherwise cased, क्या है, just to be a partner and their surviving of or counting partner carry on the business of the firm with the property of the firm without any final settlement of account as between them, the outgoing partner, his estate, then the absence of contract to the contrary, the outgoing partner or his estate is entitled at the option of himself or his representative to such share of the profits made since he is to be a partner as may be attributed to the use of his share of the property, the firm, or to the interest at rate of amount of his share in property. ओ भाई साहब 6% का रहता है, ठीक है। ना दिमाग लगा के देखेंगे, अगर गलत हुआ तो मारेंगे फिर से, लेकिन एक बार पढ़ लेना चाहिए। वेर एनी मेंबर ऑफ फर्म डाइड। ओके, मर जाता है एक मेंबर, मर जाता है मान लो। सर्वाइविंग पार्टनर क्या करेगा? फर्म प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द विदाउट एनी सेटलमेंट। ongoing partner estate in the absence of the country, the ongoing partner का estimate mutual funds such as the share of the profit hence the between partner of the use of the share property of the firm interest the rate of amount shall property of the firm 6% देना रहेगा। अगर उसका पार्टनर कोई मेंबर मर जाता है, फिर उसको साथ इंटरेस्ट के साथ 6% जोड़ के उस प्रॉपर्टी उसका हिस्सेदारी जब तक यूज करोगे उस पर इंटरेस्ट चुकाना पड़ेगा। What would be the position? What would be the position? What would be the position where a minor elect not to become a partner? Okay, कब partner नहीं? Okay, he is right and liability shall continue to be those of a minor under age section up to the date on which he gave public notice. All of the above he shall be entitled to sue the partners for his share of the property and profit. His share shall not be liable for any act of the firm done after the date of notice. His share shall not be liable for any act of firm done after the all of the above होगा। The maximum number of partner in a firm carrying on banking business cannot be exceed, हाँ 10 रहता, sorry बाय मिस्टेक फ्रेंड्स, 12th क्लास का क्वेश्चन आ गया फिर भी गलत मारा था। There is no provision in the partnership. There is no provision in the partnership deed. There is no provision in the partnership deed regarding the duration of partnership. There is no provision. There is no provision in the partnership deed. There is no provision in the partnership deed regarding the duration of partnership. This is partnership at will. Registration of a firm under registration of a firm under the partnership agreement is the in compulsory, not optional, not necessary. A nominal partner is liable for a nominal sum. One who is liable is primarily liable for the debt of the liable for the debt of the firm. Okay, nominal. Public notice is not given on the death of partner, but the firm continues the business or the act the firm done after his death. Public notice is not given, okay, on death of partner, but the firm continue the business or the act of the done after his death. The state of the deceased partner is liable. The state of deceased partner is not liable. His legal representative are personally liable. State of the partner is state of okay, no. Illegal representation. Uh, the state of disease partner is not liable. Okay. The position of a minor partner is dealt with in the India Partnership Act 1932. Minor friends section तो याद नहीं है. The position of minor partner is dealt with the Indian Partnership Act 1932. Section 30 क्या रहेगा 25, 35, 29, 29, 35, 29, section 35 देखेंगे क्या नहीं है 30 section 30. A change in the nature of the business of it can be made if the senior partner agree, the majority of the partner agree, all of the partner agree. Okay, all the partner agree. In the absence of any agreement, interest in advance by a partner is पार्टनरशिप का इतना क्वेश्चन टेल देता है फ्रेंड्स इसमें इतना दिमाग खराब करता है ये सीएमए में फ्रेंड पता नहीं सीएमए भी होगा लेकिन लाइफ में इतना काम नहीं आया मेरे को 12th में भी इतना पकाया पार्टनरशिप पार्टनरशिप एनजीओ ये दो इतना बकवास चैप्टर है ना ये दोनों सिलेबस में और फ्रेंड्स इन दोनों चैप्टर ने दुखी कर दिया सब स्टूडेंट बिना बात के घुसा दिए हैं ना हम इसका इतना हमें काम आता है ना हम इस पेशा में घुसते हैं जल्दी फिर भी पढ़ना पड़ता है क्या करें इसके जगह कुछ और ले आते हैं ना कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट ले आते हैं कुछ मजेदार इसका पूरा एक मुझे लगता है कि एक अलग ही इसका एक अकाउंटिंग के साथ साथ ये पूरा इसका कानून अलग ही पढ़ना पड़ता है in the absence of any agreement interest on advance by a partner is okay any agreement interest on advance by a partner is 6% ही होगा शायद कितना है 6% है what are the right of partner after dissolution all of the property firm client payment okay सब कुछ है भाई ये बहुत बड़ा आ गया फिर से 6% मार देते हैं बस काम खत्म इतना कहानी पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं इन विच सर्कमस्टेंस पार्टनर में रिटायर ओके according with the express agreement by the partner all of the above with the consent of all the partner where the partner is at will by giving notice in writing at all other partner of his intention to retire ये हो सकता है आंसर या ऑल भी हो सकता है ये नहीं है तो ऑल होगा what would be the position where a minor elect not to become a partner okay he is there not to be available for act or he does not after the death all of the above. After the partner's death, the business continue in the whole firm. Okay, firm name whether the legal heirs of the deceased partner are liable for any act of the legal heir of deceased partner shall be liable for any act done by the firm after his demise of partner. Okay, if the estate of deceased partner decreased person which person property is insufficient to make good the personal assets of the legal heir will be liable for any of the done by the firm. Okay. The continuing use of the name of the deceased partner name part of therefore shall not be itself make his legal representative or his estate liable for any act or done after his death. The estate of deceased person is liable for any the act done by the person level तक का नाम नहीं है तो क्या है ये तीसरा वाला the continued use of the name the continued use of the name of the deceased partner's name as part thereof shall not of itself make his legal representative or his estate liable for any act of the firm done after his death. Okay. The partners in a firm may be contract between the partners. The partners in a firm may be contract between the partners. Extend to implied authority of partner. A, B, both none of the above restricted or implied authority when restricted or implied nahi both हैं भी. Whether a notice given to a partner who habitually act in the business of the firm or any matter relating to the affairs of the firm will be deemed as notice to the firm. It depends on the nature of concerned partner whether he informed yes it operate notice the fixed accept this okay. Okay. What will be the position where a minor elect to become a partner? Okay. Where a partner has paid premium on entering into a partnership of a fixed term and the firm is dissolved before the expiration of the term otherwise then by the death of the partner, where any repayments of the premium is possible. He shall be entitled to pay repayment of the premium such part of there may be reasonable regard all okay. He will not be entitled to payment okay. Premium resolution is okay. Only due to he will not be entitled to repayment of premium or the resolution in the provisions of agreement containing no provision for the return of the premium or any part of it. Okay. Whether a partner after dissolution of the partnership firm carry on the business and whether the partner after dissolution of the firm carry on in the business style business name of the state government may appoint registrar of firms for the purpose of this act. Every registrar shall be deemed government okay to the central government may to the state government may appoint registrar of firms. Non-registration of a firm will no affect. There is right to any suit claim to set up not exchangeable under in fact a partner not to sue for the resolution of the firm on the account of dissolved firm for share of the right of the firm of proposal business. Okay. How a firm may be dissolved. A firm may be dissolved in accordance with the contract between the partner or dissolved by the certain contingency. Any firm dissolved by the court or order or cases where a partner has become unsound mind, court may dissolve, order the order partner to continue not dissolve the firm. None of these on the petition of any partner. If the assets of a firm are inefficient, assets of firm insufficient to discharge to debt level of the firm, partner shall bear the efficiency in the capital ratio, in the net profit sharing ratio, in the determination, in the capital ratio, equally in the okay, net profit sharing ratio. On attaining the majority, the minor partner has to decide and give the public notice within the prescribed period whether he will continue as a partner in the firm, he will quit what was that prescribed period. Can attaining the majority, the minor partner has to decide and give a public notice within the prescribed period whether he will continue as partner in the firm or will quit what is the prescribed period. Okay. Within 6 months of his attaining majority of his obtaining knowledge that he had been admitted to the benefits of partner whichever duties later. Mr. Okay, XYZ is a partnership firm and X, Y, and Z are Z. Okay, X, Y, and Z are the partner during the course of business travel. Partner X recovered a sum of rupees 15,000 in cash from the debtor of the firm and credit his personal bank account. The act of X. What is the liability of a retiring partner after the date of retirement? Okay. Whether HUF can become partnership in LLP. No, HUF can't become partner in LLP. How many designated partners are required in LLP? At least two designated partners. The LP shall file a statement of account and solvency in the prescribed form, which is the Form 6, 7, Form 8. Form 8. Who is the authority to grant compounding of offence under LP Act? The Registrar of Cooperative, the Central Government. What is the time limit for within the LLP shall file annual return within 60 days of the closure of financial year, within 15 days of closure, within 45 days, within 45, okay, within 30 days of the closure of financial statement. Every limited partnership must maintain its books of account The books of accounts should maintain all of the above. As per Sale of Goods Act, this is not included. As per Sale of Goods Act, this is not included. LLP shall file its annual return in which form? I think Form 12, 11, 9, 10 कौन सा होगा? The audit of accounts of every LLP is not compulsory. Okay, turnover does not exceed in financial year 30 lakh. Okay, 20 lakh or 40 lakh. Okay, does not exceed the financial year 40 lakh. Does not exceed 25 lakh. 40, 25, 25, 20, 25, 10, 25 आई थिंक सही होगा मे बी. नो, ये भी नहीं है तो ये है 40, 25. Which of the following cannot be converted into LLP? Okay, ये listed वाला होगा शायद. हाँ, the approved name of LLP shall be valid for a period of date of approval. It's I think 3 months रहता है. In which kind of partnership one partner has unlimited liability and other partner has limited liability? Okay, limited liability LLP, general partnership, partnership at will, partnership. Okay, particular partnership किस किस में हो सकता है इसे? Okay, partner has unlimited liability. Okay, general partnership, particular partnership में general partner. Okay, LLP ऐसा है. Okay, जी, sorry, confusion. Any change in the partners of a for limited liability. Any change in the partners. Any change in the partner of a limited liability part shall affect its existence, shall affect the rights of liability or limited liability. May be made only in the permission of. So shall not affect the existence, right, liability, limited liability. Okay. What is the filing fee for LLP in case where the contribution of LLP exceed 5 lakh but does not exceed rupees 10 lakh? तो आई थिंक इस केस में होगा 5 लाख से 50, 150. Every limited liability partnership shall have at least two designated partners who are individual, and at least one of them shall be Indian resident. uh, a resident in India. Okay. In terms of Section 23(2) of the LLP Act, every LLP shall file information with regard to number or LLP agreement in the prescribed form registered within 30 days of within 30 days of the date of information. What is the prescribed form number? I think form number 4. No? 3. Okay. Maximum number of person in a LLP is. Okay, LLP maximum number. LLP maximum number है क्या? कोई लिमिट है? 50 का है शायद ना? Duration of LLP depend on the extent of the proper resolution. Speculation succession depend on the partnership is limited. Then Dash is responsible for doing all act matters and things as are required to be done by LLP as per the act. Okay. Designated partner. Which of the following enjoy separate legal entity status? In separate LLP partnership or company. Separate legal entity. Ba- Both B and C are correct. क्या बात है? Both B and C. B में क्या है ऐसा? बी मतलब एलएलपी कम पार्टनरशिप और कंपनी यानी तीनों. व्हाट इज द व्हाट इज यानी कि व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी एडवांटेज ऑफ ए लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी पार्टनरशिप एलएलपी? Is a formulation tax advantage of partner limited liability for partner limited liability for tax advantage. In an LLP, which of the following is true regarding the personal assets of partners? In LP, which of the following is true regarding the personal assets of partners? फ्रेंड्स नींद लग रहा मेरे को. तो ऐसा करेंगे, अब कल करेंगे फ्रेंड्स, ठीक है? क्योंकि मेरे को लग रहा है नींद बहुत है ना. आप लोग को मेरे आवाज़ से पता चल रहा होगा. तो मैं वीडियो को यहीं बंद कर देते हैं. In LLP, which of the following is true regarding the personal partner personal? Which document is required to establish an LLP? Articularization certificate of incorporation, LLC agreement, memorandum of MOA, LLF certificate, LLC agreement. सही है. अच्छा. Who is responsible for the day-to-day management of LLP? A higher management appointment of board of directors, third party, or partnership only. In LLP, which partner is required for signing contract and legal document? Partnerships like silent partner, active partner, limited managing partner. What type of profession are often required for to form a limited liability partnership in certain jurisdictions? All of the above. Chartered accountant, lawyer, medical professional. In an LLP, which partner are typically not involved in day-to-day decision-making? And silent partner and limited partner. What is the primary disadvantage of LLP compared to corporation? Limited liability for partners, lack of perpetual taxation, ease of formation. Limited liability नहीं, ease of formation. How many schedules are available in LLP Act? Okay, four schedule है. In case of unlisted company, the duplicate share certificate shall be issued within the period of 3 months. None of them are duplicate 3 months. The bonus share may be issued out of the capital redemption CRR, any of the above mentioned. Okay, for which purpose security premium account can be utilized? In writing of the primarily expense issue a bonus share, any of the above. The quorum of for a public company having the number of members more than 5,000 is 5,000 है तो 30 हो गया. An instrument of the proxy shall be deposit office to the company before the conduct 48 hours. Which one of the following is not correct? The member personally present at the meeting will be of one of them shall be to be a chairman and show of hands if the article does not provide for the same. Chairman of the meeting, managing director. Okay, the members selected as chairman as a result of full continue the chairman who is elected by show hands. The article of the company shall provide the appointment of chairman in meeting. Managing director is the chairman of the meeting. Which of the following is the method of voting? Voting by poll for all of the voting by through electric means voting by show hand. A full demand on any question shall be taken within dash from the time when the demand was 20 full demand 24 hours. Full demand 48 hours में रहेगा. Which one cannot be transferred through postal ballot? Okay. Change in place or registration office. Local. Okay. Appointment of auditor. Election of director. Buyback of share by a company. No. This. No. Change. Appointment of director. Okay. Postal ballot से नहीं हो सकती. In the assent of the sent receive after the stage 30 days postal ballot. After 7 days रहता है CMA 30 days. The minimum number of director of a public company is director है ना 3. What is the paid up share capital fixed for the appointment of woman director? Paid up share capital appointment no 300 करो नहीं 100 करो और more. The tenure of director appointed by a small shareholder shall be 3 years. The tenure of director. No independent director shall hold office for more than 5 3. Which public company is required to appoint an independent director? इनमें से किसी को. A director may be elected by a small shareholders of open and notice by not less than 1,000 small shareholders. A director may be elected by a small shareholder open and notice. A director may be elected. Director may be elected by not less than 1,000 shares, a small shareholder, or 1/10 of such shareholders, which is lower. At every AGM, not less than of total number of directors. At every AGM, not less than of the total number of directors shall retire by rotation. तो 3/4 तो नहीं, third 2/3 1/3 3/4 3/4 होगा नहीं होगा क्या होगा 2/3 होगा. The minimum age prescribed for the appointment of managing director. Minimum age prescribed 21 years. White wash or color wash should be carried out at least once in every period of 14 months. Where more than 250 worker were employed. Previous shall be made the cool drinking water during hot weather. Settler room with suitable room. लंच रूम ऑटो प्रोवाइडेड एक मोर देन एम्प्लॉय कितना है 250 हाँ, नहीं दिया था नो फीमेल चाइल्ड शैल बी अलाउड टू वर्क इन फैक्ट्री एक्सेप्ट बिटवीन फीमेल चाइल्ड 6 PM से 7 AM 8 AM से 7 PM ओके compensatory holiday are to be valid within a month in 6 months I think yeah 9 months 2 months okay 2 months weekly holiday shall be first day of the week last day of the week थर्ड डे क्या है सब गलत गलत आंसर सेट कर the gratuity is payable to an employee shall not exceed 12 months pay 16 months 24 नहीं है तो कितना है 12 नहीं है 20 months अच्छा जी ये भी अच्छा है 20 months पे से ज़्यादा नहीं होगा The employer shall display an abstract of the act and the rules in form of number. The employer shall display an abstract of the act and the rules form number H form U O N H U form. If sufficient cause is shown, the appropriate government may can down the delay in filing appeal against the order of controlling authority. No time limit 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, 60 days. Nomination is to be made by an employee after completion. Which one of the following is to be included in the definition of wages? Wages में DA, overtime, DA में house rent, DA, which will not amount up to service of notice under the rule, which will not amount to service of notice under the rule. Personal service by courier, by registered post. By courier. A member of the corporation shall kiss. Member of the corporation shall wishes to be a member if he fails to attend consecutive meeting. Member of the corporation shall cease to be a member if he fails to attend consecutive. Three. ESI fund consists of contribution grant from government and donation, contribution, all of the above. The corporation may, with the approval of establish and maintain a state dispensaries, etc. Central government, state government, local government, state government. Who will not the following be considered employee? Who will not the following be considered as an employee? Who will not the following be considered as an employee? Okay. कैंटीन वर्कर पार्ट टाइम एम्प्लॉय कैजुअल वर्कर पार्टनर को नहीं करेंगे बार बार भूल जाता हूँ हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट द प्रिंसिपल एम्प्लॉयर okay occupier of the factory legal representative of the contractor occupier of the no legal representative और लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, ये आया था क्वेश्चन में। लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव। ओके। ESI corporation is a limited liability partnership from body corporate. The subject matter of the contract must be sale product। क्या है सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? समझ नहीं आ फाइनेंस से क्वेश्चन मेरे को। On which date was the sale of goods in force? 1940, 1930 ना? हाँ। As per Sale of Goods Act, this is not included in growing crop table, money, growing crop rate, goodwill टेबल नहीं, ये तो क्या ग्रोइंग क्रॉप गुडविल नहीं, मनी सेल गुड्स एक्ट मनी नहीं है इसमें। ओके, मनी को छोड़ के मेरा दिमाग कहाँ चल रहा। The term property be used in the sale of goods act 1930 means possession, ownership, subject to ownership and possession both। possession, ownership। The terms property are as used in the sale of goods act means ownership। The doctrine of conflict imperator implies that when the buyer does not intimate the purpose to the seller and defend upon his own skill, judgment, golden goods are sold by description. Okay, in case implied condition and warranty when goods are sold। No, देखो ये सब गलत हो गया, बचा क्या, ये सही है, when goods are sold। Okay. In case of breach of warranty, the buyer can repudiate the contract. In case of breach of warranty, the buyer can repudiate the contract, claim damage only refuse to claim the damage only. The main object of a contract of sale is transfer possession of goods, payment of price, delivery, transfer of property in goods. Risks follow ownership even which price has not been paid. Only when price has been paid, whether the delivery has not been. Risk Risks follow ownership whether delivery has been made or not. When goods have been delivered. When whether delivery has not been. Okay, where there is an unconditional contract for sale of a specific goods in deliverable state, the property in the goods possessed to the buyer when the buyer accepts the goods. Where there is unconditional contract of deliverable state, property in the goods. If the contract is silent as to the party who is to appropriate of the goods. If the contract is silent as to the party who is to appropriate the goods, seller is to appropriate, the buyer is to appropriate, any party may appropriate, the party who under the contract is first direct is to be appropriate. Okay. Where there is no specific agreement as to place, the goods sold are to be delivered at the place of the at which they are at the time of sale. A seller delivers goods in excess of the quantity ordered, or the buyer may seller deliver goods excess of the quantity. Okay. Accept the whole, reject the whole, accept the goods order, and return the excess. Reject or accept the whole. The lien of an paid seller depend on whether the buyer has paid the price or not. No ownership position. An unpaid seller has not given notice of resale to the buyer. There is a profit. The unpaid seller is bound to hand it over the buyer. She is not bound to hand it over the buyer, and buyer must be compensated. So the buyer can recover from the unpaid seller. It is not is bound to hand over it over the buyer. An unpaid seller can exercise the right of a stoppage in transit. An unpaid seller can exercise the right of a stoppage in transit when the carrier holds the goods. Unpaid seller in an auction sale is completed on the payment of price for the hammer, delivery of goods both in DB and NI payment all of hammer. The auction sale is known as private sale, public sale. Consideration an object of an agreement is unlawful if it is all of the above is fraudulent, where the seller appoints his person to bid at the auction sale without informing the bidder. It is called price pretending bidding. An unlawful act by which an intending purchaser is prevented from bidding or raising the price at an auction sale is known as dump- dumping. In a sale, there is an implied condition on the part of the seller that he, in a sale, there is an implied condition on the part of the seller that he will have the right to sell the goods in possession of has a right to sell the goods. In a contract of sale, unless goods are ascertained, there is a word in an agreement to sell. देयर इज कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिलीवरी ऑफ गुड्स फ्रेंड्स बहुत सारे आंसर गलत है इनके इंस्टीट्यूट के तो इसलिए इस पे इतना ट्रस्ट नहीं कर सकते देयर इज कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिलीवरी ऑफ गुड्स क्योंकि इसमें कुछ बोलते हैं सजेस्टेड आंसर में कुछ बोलते हैं इन लोग पे भरोसा करना थोड़ा डाउटफुल रहता है unless otherwise agreed when where goods are delivered to the buyer and reject them unless otherwise agreed where goods are delivered to the buyer and he rejects them, he is not bound to return them to the seller unless otherwise. Mean it is sufficient to keep him intimate to the seller that he has rejected the goods. What is the right of partner after dissolution to have the wind up all of the above? Okay, 6%. In what circumstances partner may require all of the above? As per sale of goods act, it is not included. All of the above. If any inspection penalty 25,000 ये भी हो गया. What is the paid up share capital fixed point? So no independent director shall hold office for more than consuming three. The minimum age prescribed of appointment of managing director is 20 years. What is the time limit for the council or states to return a money bill with its recommendation? 21 days, 7 days, no, 14 days, okay. Settlement of dispute outside the court is aligned. Okay, avoiding the conduct. Which law govern the function of lok adalat when a case is referred to the civil court? Arbitration, consumer legal service authority. What has led to the rise of contract? What has led to the rise of contract? Change in technology and legal requirement. How are contracts generally created and deployed? Why the software or system that model a specific execute contract? Who is considered an ally in enemy under Indian contract law? A citizen of country at war. Which statement best describe the pertaining the agreement between two parties? The third party witness agreement involving three parties. The specific role in agreement involving must be in writing. The three party which they specify role. In abandonment or embailment, the goods must be returned on the otherwise disposal of according to the word direction. With direction principle letter Baylor direction. The finder of goods can be sue owner of compensate the goods or furnish principal to the finder specific reward. Okay. A permission where a manufacturing process is carried on without the head of power and where how many or more workers are employed in construction each factory. Okay. Without power 10 or more. With power 20 है ना? Without power 20. With power 10. Which of the following is excluded from the benefit of factory as per section 2M? Premises where 15 workers carry or manufacture power. Mobile unit belonging to the armed forces. Factory premises where 25 workers carry out work without power. इसमें 15 ही नहीं है मोबाइल यूनिट ओके ये वाला था lateral study located so that they are in the basement only in the conventionally and all the worker gratuity is calculated for every completed year of services part of therefore this excess of how many months at the rate of which is equal to 9 months, 3 months, 6. Corporate insurance refer to as past business responsibility toward requirement represent employee, customer, client, and sometimes board of director. Board strategy knowledge shareholders. Which of the following is not typically considered as a key success factor? Case, tax deflation, cost, innovation, time. What does deliverable state means in the context of a contract of sale? In deliverable state, goods are packed on store instruction, goods are ready for delivery. And in a contract, okay. In the case of an agreement to sell, the seller is expected to have the right to sell the goods. The time agreement is signed after the receiving for payment at time which property is to pass. At the time of payment property pass. If an unpaid seller resell the goods after exercising the right of lien or stoppage in transit, what kind of title does not any buyer acquire a limited title recovered by the a good title even if resale is lost. In a non-several contract, the buyer has accepted part of the goods. What is the legal? These these acquisition which is a contingent open happening or non-happening of certain events will be treated as contingent contingent goods. Which of the following is true regarding installment delivery under Section 38? Every breach of installment is breach of the whole contract. If the condition the contract depends okay, fixing the definite price. A check in electronic form is done using printed checks scanned in the system. The promissory note is defined under the which section of Negotiable Instrument Act? Okay, I think 4 में था. What type of liability does not maker of promissory note have? What type of liability does not maker? Primary and absolute. What is long in the contract? Which is a bill of exchange considered to be accepted when it is a secret partner is not another partner mono to the government only. The liability of secret partner is unlimited like other partner. According to Section 34, when a partner is executed insolvent, क्या क्या हो सकता नहीं he ceases to be partner. According to Section 48, losses including capital deficiency are to be paid equally to all the partner. नहीं होगा only friends अभी out of profit the capital then partner individual. Section 48 losses including capital deficiency are to be paid. According to Section 58, no suit of positions shall be against the appropriate government or its officers if the act was done with alignment intention, done with other. The minimum bonus must be paid to an employee who can work at least how many days in a counting years to okay, minimum bonus 60 days, 30, 40, 45 days, 15 days, 30 days. If a person is already a nominee in one OPC become a member, another OPC due to death of its member, how long does not person have to stay? 90 days side, no 6 months. Okay. As per Section 32, when must be read hearing prospectus to be filed with the registrar simultaneously with the final prospectus after the offer is closed and at least 3 days before the opening of subscription list and offer at least 7 days before. Okay, at least 3 days before. Okay. Both financial controller and operational controller are involved in customer relation management, legal compliance, contract budgeting, forecasting, financial reporting. Which of the following is not included in the definition of key managerial personnel under Section 2? Reject. Okay, which is not included in the definition of key. KMP. Okay, KMP में कौन सा इन्वॉल्व नहीं है under section चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर, चीफ नेशनल कंपनी सेक्रेटरी। कंपनी, अरे यार ये सब नहीं, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर भी नहीं, इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर। ओके, इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर। Which section of the company does 013 provide a member to the right to requisition to extraordinary general meeting? 105 is soil, huh? No, 90, 100. According to section 255 of Company 9 2013, who are deemed to be first member of a company? The auditor of the company, first employee of the company, subscriber to member of the company, the director appointed. क्या है subscriber to the member and of the company. Under section 105 of the company 2013, the proxy can be appointed by a किससे proxy को appointed by a डायरेक्टर नहीं करेगा, ऑडिटर मेंबर करेंगे मेंबर। Which of the following company is not required to hold an AGM? ओपीसी कंपनी को नहीं करना है। ओके फ्रेंड्स, ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तो हमारा ये हो गया बुकमार्क खत्म पूरा। हमने 242 क्वेश्चन को देखा, समझा, टिक करा, गलत सही, मैक्सिमम सही हुआ, कुछ गलत हुआ। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तो ये हमारा एक निर्णायक रिजल्ट है। अब हम इसके साथ साथ इसका एक फटाफट अभी टेस्ट दे देंगे। ठीक है, सपोज इसको ओपन करते हैं, इसमें कितना क्वेश्चन है, ये वही वाला सब क्वेश्चन होगा जितना हमने 240 में कवर करा, मेरे को लग रहा वही होगा। मान लीजिए पार्टनरशिप डील होगा, ये मान लीजिए मेरे को मालूम है, तो ये नहीं चल रहा है। ठीक है, तो इसको भी बंद करेंगे। अभी प्रैक्टिस रिपोर्ट में आते हैं। रिपोर्ट में हमारा प्रैक्टिस का स्टेटस देखते हैं, बिजनेस लॉ एथिक्स का। देखिए फ्रेंड्स, 0 0 क्यों दिखा रहा? ओके, इसमें देखेंगे। हाँ, 4 नंबर ऑफ अटेम्प्ट 4 है, मिनिमम परसेंटेज स्कोर 33 है, मैक्सिमम स्कोर हमारा 80 क्या है। ठीक है, मॉक एग्जाम रिजल्ट में कितना गया है, ये टू अटेम्प्ट टाइम एक्सपायर नॉट क्वालिफाइड 46%, टाइम एक्सपायर। ओके, और किसी में है काउंटिंग में मेरा देखिए परसेंटेज कितना 66 गया था, उसके बाद हमारा 80 क्वालिफाइड में 86 आ गया था। वाह, मैं क्वालिफाइड हो गया था इनके नज़र में। और कुछ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स का देखेंगे, क्वालिफाइड हो गया था, 60 नंबर आ गया था फ्रेंड्स, देख रहे हैं, तो मैं सब में पास था। कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग का बुरा हाल होगा, इसमें क्वालिफाइड 73 मार्क्स, क्या बात है, वाह गुड जॉब। क्वालिफाइड 66। हाँ, ये सब मैंने अटेम्प्ट नहीं करे। तो देखिए फ्रेंड्स, पहले मैं अच्छा था पढ़ने में, अभी धीरे धीरे प्रैक्टिस कम हो गया। हालांकि इसमें भी अच्छा क्या है, देखिए मिनिमम 30 आया है, इसमें फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग में 46 40, कॉस्टिंग में 33। अरे ये सब तो मैंने दिया नहीं। ठीक है, तो ग्रुप 1 का ही है मेरा। ग्रुप 1 में एग्जाम रिजल्ट प्रैक्टिस में कितना है, प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट, इसमें देखिए कुछ नहीं दिखा रहा, कोई प्रैक्टिस नहीं बता रहा, लेकिन अभी भी तो मैंने प्रैक्टिस किया ना। टैक्स में दिखा रहा है, देखिए कि 21 में 11, 42 में 28, 22 में 16, 20 में 13 और 48 में। वाह, ये वाला सही गया था जीएसटी का, ये गलत हुआ था, ये भी सही था कस्टम का। इसमें प्रैक्टिस नहीं है देखिए, तो कायदे से फ्रेंड्स मेरे को किसमें प्रैक्टिस कम है, इसमें कितना 77% प्रैक्टिस है टैक्स में। अकाउंटिंग में 0 प्रैक्टिस बता रहा है, तो इसमें करना चाहिए। लॉ में 0 बता रहा, सिर्फ टैक्स में प्रैक्टिस हुआ था। ओके, ये तो हो गया हमारा स्टडी मटेरियल। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तो हमें स्टडी मटेरियल का कोई मतलब नहीं है। एक काम करते हैं फ्रेंड्स, एक बिजनेस, तो ये तो टेस्ट जो मैं दिया था वो शायद मैं सब्जेक्ट वाइज दिया ना। ये देखिए इसमें 53 क्वेश्चन है, तो टेस्ट तो है इसमें बहुत सारा, लेकिन अभी हम नहीं देंगे, अभी सिर्फ प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट देंगे। नहीं, प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट में भी देखेंगे, हाँ। प्रैक्टिस टेस्ट में आते हैं, बिजनेस लॉ का देंगे सेट वन में। फटाफट हो जाएगा, 15 क्वेश्चन है। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर है, क्या कर दिया मैंने, इस चीज का ओपन कर दिया। चलिए जो भी है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर, टैक्स, लीगल, रेंट, फैक्ट्री बिल्डिंग, कंज्यूमेबल टैक्स, सब है, सारा खर्चा। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ए मेथड ऑफ चार्जिंग डिप्रिसिएशन एसेट्स लाइफ साइकिल, सम ऑफ योर डिजिट मेथड, संकिंग पॉइंट, वर्किंग आवर्स। Which of the following are revenue expenditure, all of the above? ये वाला आ गया सॉल्व करने के लिए। तो फ्रेंड्स 1 लाख 4 लाख था, 3,50,000 में से 50,000 कम हुआ, 1 लाख ऐड हो गया, तो 1,50,000 हुआ, 1,80,000, तो 1,50,000। सॉरी फ्रेंड्स, अभी दिमाग नहीं चल रहा हमें। लॉ पढ़ा था ना, तो लॉ का टेस्ट देना चाहिए। क्या अकाउंटिंग अकाउंटिंग खुल गया जी, ये गलत हो गया। सबमिट कर देते हैं, हटाइए ये, नॉट रिसीवेबल क्वालिफिकेशन, 13 नंबर आए, क्यों गलत कर दिया हम, हमें लॉ का देना था। प्रैक्टिस शिफ्ट, इसमें आना है प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन में, बिजनेस लॉ। लेकिन मेरा वैसा वाला चाहिए ना, छोटा वाला, 15 मार्क्स। प्रैक्टिस, आया। ठीक है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज एन एग्रीमेंट प्लस लीगल ऑब्लिगेशन, नहीं, ऑब्जेक्ट। ऑब्जेक्ट रहेगा, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एग्रीमेंट प्लस लीगल ऑब्जेक्ट। Anticipatory breach of contract take place at the time of when the performance is due, before the performance is due. Okay. A negotiable instrument payable to order can be transferred by simple delivery endorsement. Which of the following cannot be converted into listed? A contract of sale unless goods are certain there is a goods are certain an enforceable agreement. Weekly holiday shall be last day of the week. Who will not be the following considered as an employee? Partner. If any inspection is refused or any copy, okay, not furnished within the specified timeline, the penalty for 1 lakh, 25,000 करा था मैंने शायद। What is the paid up share capital fixed for the appointment of woman director? So 100. The bonus share may be issued out of the any of the above. If which public company is required to appoint independent director? ये वाला। ओके, इसमें शायद एनी ऑफ द अबव हो सकता था फ्रेंड्स। इसमें तो 100 करोड़ होगा, इसमें 48 आवर्स। रजिस्टर्ड ऑफ फॉर्मेशन पार्टनरशिप एक्ट, नॉट नेसेसरी। Partners in a firm may be contract between the partners in a firm may be contract. देखिए फ्रेंड्स 60% आया, सी ग्रेड आया। क्या गलत हुआ इसमें? ये गलत कर दिया फिर से। मनी एग्रीमेंट प्लस लीगल ऑब्जेक्ट ऑब्लिगेशन करना है ना, इनफोर्सिबल एग्रीमेंट। ये गलत कर दिया। लास्ट डे नहीं होगा। देखिए 4-5 गलत हो गया। कोई बात नहीं फ्रेंड्स, अभी प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा और दबा के। कोई नहीं, आज हमने लॉ का प्रैक्टिस करा है। लॉ में बहुत सारे देयर आर 2197 क्वेश्चन, प्रैक्टिस 10 क्वेश्चन। बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन है इसमें, हम करें तो बहुत कुछ नॉलेज हो जाता। अभी मैंने कौन सा किया है, एक ये वाला किया है ना। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, अभी ये वाला तो शायद हमने कहा 14 डेज। इसमें देखिए इसमें बहुत कम कम क्वेश्चन दिखा रहा। इसमें 53 है। ओके, लेकिन फ्रेंड्स क्वेश्चन अगर देखा जाए तो वही सब है, देखो जहाँ तक लग रहा है। ठीक है, फाइनली चलिए, बहुत सारा हमने आज प्रैक्टिस करा, देखा है। किसी दिन फिर आऊंगा तो ये सारा भी देखेंगे कि इमोशनल ये वाला कर लेते हैं। इसमें कितना आता है, कितना क्वेश्चन है? दो ही है ना। कॉर्पोरेट रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रेफर टू बिजनेस रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू आर्ट्स के इट्स एम्प्लॉय सबके लिए है। उसी वही क्वेश्चन है जो हो गया है, तो इसमें कोई टेंशन का बात तो नहीं लग रहा है। ठीक है, ये सब क्वेश्चन वही वाला है। प्रैक्टिस। ओके, अभी टैक्स का एक दिन फिनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग का करना है। लेकिन एक बार सोच रहा हूँ मैं कि लॉ के अंदर और क्या है। ये सब तो हो गया, कंपनी एक्ट कर लिया हमने। कंपनी एक्ट में दो ही क्वेश्चन, तो वही इधर नहीं दिखा रहा। किसी किसी में ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन है, जिस किसी में 28 क्वेश्चन है नेगोशिएबल में। इसमें 70 क्वेश्चन दिखा रहा है। ठीक है, तो मे भी अभी और क्वेश्चन आएगा। 1 दिसंबर से 3 दिसंबर के बीच में कुछ टेस्ट आएगा, तो उसमें देखेंगे क्या आता है। Security is payable in not exceed। ठीक है, ये सब क्वेश्चन है, 7 क्वेश्चन इसमें है। तो कोई नहीं फ्रेंड्स, सारा टेस्ट किया जाएगा, सब कुछ किया जाएगा। लेकिन फिनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग का भी टेस्ट दिया जाएगा। धीरे धीरे सबको सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करा जाए, क्योंकि एग्जाम आ गया सर पे। तो कल बैठेंगे टैक्स को लेके आप लोग के साथ, ऐसे ही स्क्रीन शेयरिंग करके कल टैक्स के एमसीक्यू प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, और उसमें देखेंगे कितना नंबर आता है। अब जब भी आप लोग ये वीडियो देखेंगे, देखे होंगे, आप लोग को दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, थैंक यू। और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि अभी हम इसमें से कुछ चीज़ें जो रह गया उसको दोबारा एक बार वीडियो बना दूं, और दोबारा आप लोग के साथ लाइव आकर बात करूं, अगर हो सकेगा तो। ठीक है फ्रेंड्स, तब तक के लिए चलिए, गुड नाइट, बाय बाय, ऑफ शेयरिंग। ठीक है, बाय गाइस, हेलो बाय। कैसे कहें हम आपको भी बाय बाय। एंड स्ट्रीम पे क्लिक करेंगे तो हमारी आपसे बातचीत बंद हो जाएगी।